The Lions have been a unbelievably boring team this offseason. We've had Lions fans comment, can you talk about the Lions more? And, we talk about the NFC North a lot. It's just like, what are we supposed to talk about with this team?
Yeah, they've added a couple good players in free agency to replace the couple good players they let go. And otherwise, they're just saying, we're the big dogs, come and get us.
Yeah, and even Lions fans that I've reached out to, I'm like, what can we talk about with the Detroit Lions? And every answer I've gotten is honestly not really much. But I sat there in my cave again and I started thinking, I went, you know what Lions fans should really be considering here is, are they actually the top dog or not in the NFC? And I think most people coming into this season would say no. Most people would say it's the Philadelphia Eagles. And I started wondering whether or not it should be Philly. Because Detroit's coming off this 15-2 unbelievable season. People forget the story of the 2024 season was the Detroit Lions season. It was not the Philadelphia Eagles season until Super Bowl Sunday, really. Until they beat the crap out of the Commanders. All the way up until the Commanders went into Detroit and upset the Lions, it was the Lions season to be spoiled. And that's where the curse of Detroit came into play. But it was a magical year for Detroit. It's one that's going to be very, very hard to replicate. But when you take a step back and think about this Lions roster and them getting back Aiden Hutchinson and them signing DJ Reed and them losing the coordinators, that's like the big piece here. I'm not sure whether or not it's fair to put them above Philly, who's coming off a Super Bowl win. But I'd like to, because 15-2 is 15-2. You know what I mean? So do you think they're being disrespected right now, not being called the number one NFC team?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's disrespect. The Lions are awesome, but I myself would put Philly at number one.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what Detroit did 2 years ago, right? Fantastic. Kind of came out of nowhere. And it's like, whoa, Detroit is here, NFC Championship game.
It's okay to say Philly. Like, it's okay to say Philly.
Philly to me is the best team and the team to beat in the NFC. Detroit is right behind them. Detroit, a couple years back, NFC Championship game, had the game won. Should have been in the Super Bowl. Dan Campbell says, we might never get back here. You never know. It's hard to get back here. Most of the season last year, they looked awesome. And I thought for sure this year is the shoe-in. They get back there. And their team's going to win the Super Bowl. I was saying it most of the year.
You guaranteed it. Almost annoying.
Yeah. Some dumb luck, some injuries.
Some curses.
Number one seed. And they don't make it as far as they did the year before. And now you have Philadelphia and forget about their Super Bowl win, right? But how about even just 2 short years prior? They were in the Super Bowl as well. So we're talking about a team who has played in 2 Super Bowls in the last, 3 seasons. A team who's won a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, who's proving he's one of the best quarterbacks and most dynamic players in the entire league.
Winner.
A winner.
Like JJ McCarthy.
Yes. And the Lions, who haven't been to the Super Bowl. So it's not disrespect. The Lions are great. Probably the second best team in the NFL. They're not the team to beat in the NFC. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the best team in the NFC.
The thing is, though, so everybody's talking about the coordinators that the Lions lost, and fair enough. But one of the nice things about not going to the Super Bowl is you don't lose random players for no reason because teams get really impressed by what they did in the Super Bowl. Right? It's like the Eagles or the Lions, the only player they lost who played more than 20% of their snaps last year was Carlton Davis. And they signed DJ Reed to replace him. Other than that, they didn't lose anybody who did anything for them last season. Meanwhile, you look at some of the stuff that like Philadelphia had to go through, right? You think of like that Milton Williams contract. Like he played 1 good game and the guy's never played more than 45% of the snaps in his entire career. So he signs for like a close to market resetting contract just because he was on a Super Bowl team. You look at Josh Sweat, solid player, important contributor, get a huge deal with Arizona. Like the Eagles lost some important players because of the Super Bowl effect. And that's part of why it's so hard to go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row or year after year. If you're Kansas City, you can lock down a couple of stars because they sign gigantic deals and just hope they can elevate everyone else. But it's very hard and very rare to do that. You need an all-time quarterback to have a chance, I think. And Jalen Hurts is a very good player. He might even be elite, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Peyton Manning. He's not those guys who find a way to get there quite a bit over the course of their career. So I think not enough people are paying attention to the players who've departed from Philly. I think people are just super excited because, the Lions lost their coordinator. So if you're keeping all the players, it's easier to maintain continuity. I'm sticking with the Lions here. I think there's a reason that they're going to be the best team in the NFL next year.
It's funny you mentioned the Eagles and the departures, because going into the draft, when people are talking about needs for the Eagles, most people will say, they could probably use some help on the defensive line. And immediately everyone goes like, what? Like anyone who watched the Super Bowl, which is basically everyone, and more people watch Super Bowl than any other Eagles game on the season. Like, wait, how could that team possibly need help on the defensive line? But it's because, they did lose some pieces. Now, you still have Jalen Carter there, and he's going to be one of the highest paid defensive tackles ever pretty soon.
Mr. 35% of the snaps himself.
He's still going to get paid a lot of money. And you come on, Jalen Carter is a beast.
I get it.
They still have Hurts, Smith, Brown, and Barkley.
Yes,
they're the best team.
That's the thing. So the defense should be very good again, and we'll see. Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, they take another step up. Like that defense could be locked down. But it's when you look at the offensive side, there's no reason to doubt Jalen Hurts anymore. I just don't think there's reason to doubt him.
I'm not doubting it.
At least falling off a cliff. Like Jalen Hurts has his moments where he plays poor football.
But I mean, didn't he fall off a cliff the last time he went to the Super Bowl?
But yeah, I think Jalen Hurts in general is a very.
But like he's been there twice. Goff,
he
hasn't been there with Detroit yet.
It's hard to see that with Barkley, Brown, and Smith, as you said, and that offensive line, how he's slowing them down.
Yeah, for me, it's as long as you have those four and a good offensive line, a block for Saquon.
But I don't believe in this dynasty that people are talking about. People are saying the Eagles are the next dynasty in the NFL.
They're a beatable team. Detroit can go out and beat them in the NFC Championship game. I wouldn't be surprised about it.
It feels like we were robbed of that game too last year. I thought I was so excited.
Philly at Detroit.
Yeah. Now, again, outside of my Viking interest and rooting against Detroit, it felt like we were robbed of that, inevitable game that we were waiting for all year of Philly going into Detroit. Now, given the injuries Detroit had, I think Philly actually probably wins that game. But that
who knows?
Yeah, that was the one where I couldn't wait to see that.
That would have been a game where people were legit 50-50. Like nobody knew the nobody. The Eagles were going to lose the Commanders. Like there was just no way.
I mean, they played a close game earlier in the year, but you could tell from didn't Barkley have a 60-yard run in the first touch of the game for first offensive play? That was over from the start. And I'm trying to remember, did the Commanders go down the field early to start that one?
The Commanders just dominated.
I can't remember what
the Eagles just destroyed them, I think.
I can't remember the beginning, but it ended 56 to something.
Yeah, I think they got a field goal, and then that was just about it.
It was a great drive, though. I think it was a great drive from Washington. And then the Saquon gets the ball and immediately scores. But it felt like we were robbed of that game. So I do think the Lions, when you talk about best team in the NFC next year, the conversation, like just teams you could consider, Lions and Eagles, right? Immediately. Teams just throwing them out. Commanders, no, I don't think they should be there. Packers, no. The Rams, I think the Rams actually are probably the third best team in the NFC. Vikings, too many question marks. 49ers, too many question marks.
Yeah, to me, it's Philly or Detroit.
So, and I think the Rams are up there. I really think the Rams could have a big season.
I mean, they're not winning their division, so what are you going to do?
Who is the Cardinals?
No, it's the 49ers.
This is the thing to watch.
The team at minus odds to win the division, one of the highest win totals in the NFC.
And we'll move to the Packers in 30 seconds here. I do just want to say something to watch for next year. And this is playing that schedule game again, which you can't play, but I'm going to play it anyway. The Lions and Eagles have two very difficult schedules next season. That NFC West, it's so weak. So just keep an eye on whether you believe in the 49ers or the Rams. As far as the one seeds go, schedule does matter. Now, we'll see how it shapes out. But right now, just listen to this and then we'll move on. The Eagles next year, at Buffalo, at Dallas, at Green Bay, at Kansas City, at the Chargers, at the Vikings. Then they have at the Giants too. Hosting the Cowboys, the Giants, Commanders. Then host the Bears, host the Lions, host the Broncos, host the Commanders, host the Buccaneers, the Rams, and the Raiders.
I ain't remembering all that.
No, you don't have to remember all that, but just as I went through it, if you hit 30 seconds back, As I list those teams off, just say in your head, really good or not. And most of those teams are really good.
What?
What?
Did you say most of those teams are really good?
Most of those teams I said are really good.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
What?
Besides Buffalo.
Mike, did you heard the teams I said, right?
Here comes Zach chiming in.
I thought they were very good.
No.
Bills, Chiefs, Packers, Chargers, Vikings.
We watched the Chiefs implode in the Super Bowl. So
are you serious right now? You're coming out here and you're saying the Chiefs aren't good?
I think they suck too.
Yeah.
I'm actually with you.
All right, go ahead. We can go through it real quick.
So, no. We're wrapping. I don't want to.
You tell me good or bad. Good or bad. Right?
Just say good or bad real quick.
Good or not.
I think with you, I think, Zach.
Bills.
Good.
Good.
Cowboys.
Bad.
Suck.
Cowboys might be better than you think next year. Packers.
Good.
Good.
Chiefs.
Suck.
Bad.
Well, that is invalid.
No, it doesn't.
Chargers. At the Chargers.
Bad.
At the Vikings.
These guys are just lying. They are just lying.
No, it's not lying. The Chargers aren't going to be that good. The Eagles are just way better than the Chargers. Not going to be good.
Commanders twice.
I think they beat them both.
Beat them twice.
Sure, but good team.
I think I actually might be with Zach.
At the Bucks.
Bucks suck, don't they?
No, they have Baker. We'll say good.
You're saying the Bucks are good, but the Chiefs aren't. Yeah, okay, man.
I believe
the Rams.
Garbage.
Broncos.
Garbage.
Lions.
Garbage.
Raiders are garbage. Bears.
Garbage.
No, the Raiders are good.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of good teams on that schedule.
Like I could already tell the Eagles are going 14-3.
If they're the best team in the league, yes, they will beat them. Like that's how it goes. When you're the top dog, you beat the best teams. But like they did last year, they beat Baltimore.
What matters more, schedules or size?
I think what matters is the Green Bay Packers, who we should talk about.
Let's go on to the Packers. So
I'm actually with Zach.
What do you guys think actually post? If you had to rank my thoughts through the first three teams, it sounds like the McCarthy was like a canceled show bad. I thought the Lions and the Bears was decent though.
Yeah, I'd go probably Bears, Lions,
and then was the Vikings. Like, how bad was the Vikings?
It wasn't bad. It was entertaining.
I considered walking off the show and holding out for a trade.
Like, are there going to be people who come in? Are there going to be people who come into this show for the first time and they're going to go like that guy?
They won't be coming back.
People do have warped minds. Don't get what you're saying. So.
Oh, yeah, there'll be some deranged weirdos out there. Like, I understand what Paul's talking about. He's right. JJ McCarthy's literally Tom Brady, 22 years old. I bet he's going to be better than Tom Brady because he's going to win a Super Bowl in Minnesota. That's really hard.
Whose mind is more warped, yours or mine?
Honestly, it's probably closer than people think. Like the answer is you, but it depends on the subject. Like it really does. In terms of like talking yourself into, I don't know, man. You sat here 2 weeks ago and banging the table for Clemson to win the national championship. So
I also said the Eagles Super Bowl. You guys are sitting here dawdling your fingers about the Chiefs.
I mean, you also came off the Lions.
I know my football.
You also sat here for the Lions for a year and said
ball.
They were the team.
I do know ball.
You know ball. No, Jack's not bad, but like what Jack's really good.
We're not talking college basketball. It's a football.
What
show.
Jack's phenomenal at is. He'll go through his take the whole year that winds up being wrong, but pivot and then defend the new take that lasted for a week like it's been his take for life. You're very good at that.
I mean, did we just not sit here and like swear my whatever on the Eagles Super Bowl?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a prime example. We sat here the entire year and you were like, the Lions are the team. This is the greatest team ever. Team of destiny.
And then they
lost. They lost. The next day you went, the next week later, you went, the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. It's not going to be close.
They got injured, the Lions.
Yes, they did.
Like, so it's fair to, say, all right, Eagles were healthy. Let's go to that.
I'm pretty sure you picked them even
when
they were hurt. All right.
You have a warped mind.
You know who gets stuff right, though, is me about the Bengals.
The Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, on try number 4, we said we had so many.
No. When they beat the Giants, you guys were like, "Oh, maybe there's some of this Bengals team," and that's when I got off. And boy, was that correct.
You had them in your top 10 throughout in week 8, right?
No, they dropped out once they lost to the Giants, or once they beat the Giants by 10.
The Giants.